one of my main focuses in real estate is not just getting a bunch of transactions done, but really building relationships.
Mm.
So one of my slogan is the realtor that helps to build you up. So each and every client that I get, especially first time home buyers, I don't like to just take them through the motions. I like to really break things down and help educate them and let them know how vital home ownership can be and how many doors that can really open to them.
Hello, everyone. Dondre Homer here. Welcome to the DHomerRealEstate podcast, where the focus is to make real estate, personal finance, and self-development fun, digestible, and relatable to everyone. I'll really appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe, download, write a review, leave a 5-star, whatever the case may be to help the algorithm. So today is episode 4, and I am honestly honored to have this individual on as a guest. This individual has helped me tremendously beyond you guys really actually know. She is a licensed realtor. She is a wife. She is a mother, and again, just an amazing person, a kind-hearted person, someone who really just wants people to succeed in life. So the person I'm talking about is my guest, Tory How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Dondre. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It is cold as a mug outside, but God be the glory. um, so I want to get into this. This is not going to be a long episode, but I really do want to start, as always, with the icebreaker questions. So I have a few questions for you. The first question is, what is your favorite TV show?
The tie right now, I I'd probably say Suits.
Suits.
Yeah,
Is there a
Suits.
specific? Sorry.
I'm I watched it years ago, and I'm just now catching up on like the last 3 seasons now. So
Hmm.
I'm heavy in that. But other than that, also You. Have you heard of You?
Is that on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I haven't really dabbled into it. I've been watching Selling Tampa lately.
Oh gosh, you're one of those.
Yes, I've been watching Selling Tampa. But yeah, I would definitely check out You for sure. Who's in it?
I don't know their names.
No
But
worries.
it's a psychological thriller.
Okay, I'll definitely take a look into that. The second question is a very, I guess, not deep question, but I definitely would love to hear your answer to this. Is if you had the opportunity, would you rather speak with your past self or your future self,
Mm, Future self.
and why?
I'm not the type of person who I don't like to have regrets.
Mm,
So basically, things that have happened, everything happens for a reason. And all of our steps are already ordained. And so things that have happened have led me to the place where I am. So I just like to be in the present and grateful. Any lessons that or mistakes that were had, I like to think of them as lessons learned.
mm.
So I would definitely leave the past the way it is and holla at myself in the future.
Holla at at the future you. Okay, I love it. I love it. And the final icebreaker question is, we're in the new year, so happy new year to you and your family. Um, what is your theme or focus word going into 2022?
I saw someone's yesterday and I'm like, I need to have one. I haven't determined one just yet, but it's definitely going to be around the theme of consistency.
Ah, consistency. I love it. I love it. Thank you for answering the icebreaker questions. And now I want to give you the opportunity to really formally introduce yourself and share what you do.
Yeah, so as mentioned, my name is Tory. I am a licensed realtor living in Hamilton, Ontario. I have business all throughout. One of my main focuses in real estate is not just getting a bunch of transactions done, but really building relationships.
Mm,
So one of my slogan is the realtor that helps to build you up. So each and every client that I get, especially first-time home buyers, I don't like to just take them through the motions. I like to really break things down and help educate them and let them know how vital home ownership can be and how many doors that can really open to them. So that's what I really focus on the client level. And then from the real estate level, I've poured a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into helping people get their own license. So when I got my license, the whole system to get your real estate license changed, and there was really no information out there and not as many resources. So as I was going through it, I recorded my journey and found a lot of helpful tips, and I've created my own helpful tips and resources and stuff. So I have my YouTube channel, ToryInRealty,
Yes.
that's dedicated towards that. And so I like to help people get their license, get started off in their career, and even more experienced agents, just help them to update their game.
Oh, love it. And just to piggyback off of that, ladies and gentlemen, I am one of her students. She, not matured. She helped me, attain my real estate license. She took the time. She was really patient with me. She heard the trials and tribulations, the days when I did not succeed, the days when I wanted to give up. Um, honestly, the transition was very difficult for me, and I could be completely honest. But Tory definitely helped me out. So if you are in the class or the courses for Humber College and you may need some assistance, feel free to reach out to Tory Akini. I would definitely have that available in the description below, her contact information, so you can reach out to her. So moving forward, today's topic is a topic that's deep to my heart because when you get started into real estate, you're going to deal with these people first, which is renters. And when I say these people, I don't mean it in a bad way, I promise. But you be surprised on some of the things that you encounter. So we just want to clear the air. So this episode is going to be called Dear Renters. Okay. And the first question I have, and let me preface this by saying this. I usually don't have a problem with people who've already rented before, especially if they used a realtor. But can you explain to the listeners the difference between renting through a realtor and using Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji?
So in essence, using a realtor, you basically have, I can't think of the right word, but like you have a person dedicated to you and your best interest to help you find a place that meets most of your needs, if not all of them. So when you go to find a rental yourself on Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, and things like that, typically it's either the landlord themselves posting the place for rent, or it is a property management company who posts the listing online. So when you are the tenant renting the facility, the landlord is the one who will pay your realtor their fees.
Mm-hmm.
When you're using a property management company, typically they won't pay the realtor fees because the fees the landlord is paying, the property management company will keep it for themselves. So sometimes there is a conflict of interest if you're using a realtor and then you end up finding a place on Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace, because now your realtor may not get paid for you securing that place.
Mm-hmm. So, and I love how you broke that down. And especially people need to understand that we are regulated, like we are licensed for a reason. So again, as you mentioned, we are here to represent your best interest. When you go through Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, those are, again, as you said, landlords who are essentially looking for an extra $1,000 maybe here and there, and they I can't say they can do whatever they want, but I have come across a lot of people who said that, you know what, my landlord is not the greatest or not the nicest to me. And when I ask, oh, where do you find them from? And they say Facebook and Kijiji, I say, yeah, that's typically the reason, because they have no one really governing them. You can go to the rental, the landlord and tenant board, but usually it's, you know, people who just, hey, I have my local basement. It's not even, it might not even be legal, you know, but people are doing what they can just to get an extra income. So I want to thank you for, you know, separating the difference between using a landlord, as well as, you know, going through everything independently. But, and you kind of touched on, you know, our jobs as, you know, realtors is, again, we represent our clients, and represent their best interests. But I would love for you to explain, what is vetting and why do we do it? And I guess I'll go into a backstory after.
So vetting is one of the reasons why you use a realtor, because they can help really guide you in the right directions and put you in the right path. So, for instance, when you are vetting can be done even from the landlord perspective or the tenant perspective, really. So, when you are a landlord and you are looking for a tenant, there's a whole lot of things that you want to make sure are in line with that potential tenant before you sign any paperwork with them. So, you want to make sure they are employed, or they have a steady method of income, or they have the potential to pay for the rent. Because a lot of times I'm seeing more and more people may not be have large income, or they may be students, or they may just be off work, or whatever the scenario. That doesn't mean you can't find a place to rent. That just means you're basically going to have more financial stability, either a co-signer or paying 6 months or maybe even the full year upfront if possible. All depends on the scenario. But employment is a big thing, credit scores,
Mm,
and not just the scores, but the full report.
speak
That's
on it.
another conversation, but that's important. Personal references to speak to people's character. The rent application is a standard form we use to go over a lot of information. And then content insurance, which is something a lot of people forget about. So when you're a landlord, that's definitely things that you want to do. From the tenant side of things, you want to make sure you're vetting the house, that it is going to be a stable place for you to live and has all the amenities. Is it shared laundry? Is it a shared driveway? Kind of those things like that. And even from the realtor perspective, when you're vetting your clients,
Mm,
rental clients, and what ones you want to pour your time and efforts in, it's also important that you set the standards from the beginning of the conversation. Because I see so many people waste time, and there's so much misunderstanding because the right things weren't said in the beginning.
mm.
So it's important to have your standards, know what things that you require from clients, and let them know that in the beginning. And then you both can make the choice whether or not you want to continue to work together.
Absolutely. And I love the last thing you said about, you know, for realtors, you know, because you don't want to waste time. Now, backstory behind this question is because I actually had an individual, you know, give me a call. I was out driving home and phone rang, bling, bling. And I said, hello, Dondre Homer speaking. And the individual said, hey, I'm looking to rent. I said, awesome. Here's where I want to go. And here's my price range. I'm not going to touch on that right now because that's, you know, in the past. However, as I continue to ask these questions, so, you know, credit score, employment, and, things of that nature, the person actually stopped me and said, why do you ask so much questions? And I said, pardon? I was flabbergasted. You understand me? I was like, pardon? I was taken aback, really and truly. Like, I've never heard, like, they're like, oh, I work with this other realtor and they didn't ask these questions. And I said, well, you know, as realtors, we are essentially, you know, independent business owners. And this is how I like to, you know, conduct business, because I would like to know ahead if this is, you know, worth my time, or, and I don't want to waste your time as well. So, and I find, you know, a lot of people, it happened to me like 3-4 times where someone was like, you ask a lot of questions. And I'm like, do people, when you go to the bank and the bank asks you questions, you don't question them? But for some reason, when I ask questions, I'm not here trying to get your number, eh? Like, I have a wife. I'm here trying to just conduct business. And do I need to do to assist you better? So, that really upsets me. That really upset me. And I'm happy that you're able to clear the air and let them know that this is something that we need to do as realtors. So, again, before I even go on a showing, I was, taught, to collect ID, full credit report with score, a letter of employment, and recent pay stubs, which, and once you send that off, that shows commitment, because the reality is, um, some, this might sound so bad, but some people are not committed to you. So you want to know if they're committed to you by asking these questions up front or asking for these documents up front. And people who usually give you these documents right away up front, it's easier to do with. Trust me, it's so smooth, like you have no idea. So again, thank you for sharing that. And now I would like to break down a few points from the rental requirements, and the most challenging thing for people to grasp, which is cost. But I'd like to start with the credit report and score. What is considered good credit?
Generally, like ideally 700s.
Mm-hmm.
That's what most landlords are looking for. I was last year, I was speaking with the owner of Single Key. He's
Mm-hmm.
a company that runs credit reports and stuff through Equifax. They do a really good job of it. But they had told me that the average credit score in Canada is 650.
Mm.
So average, that's what most people have. Ideally, landlords want to see something starting with a 7,
Mm-hmm.
but there's so many different exceptions because I've had people, okay, the lowest credit score I've seen was 432.
Wow, that's
And I've seen people with credit scores of 650 with bankruptcy on their history, depending on, and I've been able to get them a place to rent.
wow.
So depending on the nature of the bankruptcy, like the timing, how long it was, and whether or not you're making payments or it's taken care of, like there's certain exceptions that can be made. Some things people don't realize is that when you pay late for utility bills, that can show up on your credit report and
Mm-hmm.
definitely bring it down. Um, Sorry, I'm getting too deep, but
No,
yes,
no, no, no. I love it. Get
between
into it.
between 650 and 700 is good.
All right. See, okay. I love that. And where the second part of this question is, where should people get their credit score and report from, and why?
So in Canada, we have the two main systems, Equifax and TransUnion. Most landlords, most companies and everything go off of the Equifax report. I find that that score is traditionally a little bit lower than what the TransUnion one is. So
Yeah.
ideally, honestly, they're both pretty much equivalent, but most people are just familiar with the Equifax name. So as consumers or tenants, you can request it yourself from Equifax. I've been hearing they've been having a lot of delays and technical issues.
Oh
So
my gosh.
sometimes that's not the fastest. Me personally, I use the company Single Key. So I go online, their website, I order a report, and it comes back within 5 minutes.
Oh wow.
So they have a fee of $20. So for my own clients, once I've vetted them and I know that they're committed to me, that is a cost that I will absorb for my potential clients. But through the company, you can also send the application to the tenant and they pay $25 to have the same report done.
Mm.
What I like about Single Key is that they not only give you the credit score and the credit report from Equifax, but they also do background checks. They do social media checks,
Oh,
um, previous home address checks. So if this person was ever convicted of a crime, like they will search through the judicial database to see if there's any pending or things like that. So they really go above and beyond.
oh, that's beautiful. I didn't know it was that in depth. I'm definitely gonna take a look at them for sure. So let's say I'm coming to you and I say, oh, but I've Credit Karma. Like, can I use that? Well, borrow
So
well. Can I use that?
Credit Karma, Borrowell, a bunch of those apps, it's good for you to monitor your own credit. But the biggest thing is that they don't give you a PDF or a printout of your full credit and the report. So they'll just show you what the score is. I've had clients who have just screenshot it and sent it to me. Most landlords are not going to accept it. They want the full layout. So it's a good starting ground to be aware of where you are, but it's typically not good enough as an actual submission.
And you beat me to it. Cause I was gonna say, what if I screenshot it? Like, because I've gotten people and I'm trying to tell them, and it's like, I'm not trying to be rude, but here are the things that we need to do. This is our job, right? And speaking of our job, we have access to, the MLS and the background behind it. And you will see, please AAA tenant. What is the income considered for triple A worthy?
There's really no standard. I don't, it's very subjective. Triple A probably means something like $70,000 or more a year on the higher end. But a lot of times, like I've had people who have listed it triple A clients only, and I've had people with credit scores of 500 who they ended up accepting.
Yeah.
So it's really superficial. I think most realtors say triple A just to make their landlord client feel more comfortable in the advertising, but it's just for show. Some landlords are very picky and they literally only want people who have like a 750 credit score, making over 80,000 a year. And like at that point, it's like, why would they even rent if their income is that high and credit score that good? They'll probably be buying. But landlords can be very picky.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, and you said it's very subjective, and that is so true because I had a client who made 70K a year, and I put in an offer for them, and the listing agent calls me back saying, "Hey, yeah, this is not good enough." I'm like, "Pardon?" And she went and said, "Oh, this is a top end place. They need to make at least 120K." I'm like, "Whoa!" Again, why are they renting if they make that much money? But she was going on and off. So again, tenants, future tenants, potential tenants, understand that it's very subjective. So again, it depends on the other person on the other side. As we are trying to represent you as your renter agent, we are going to try our best, but in reality, the person on the other side, we don't know who they are and what kind of person they're kind of be. I had someone hang up on me before, and you're like, you guys are really stink. And then you have people who are willing to work with you and willing to be nice and try to see how they can make things work. So again, it's very subjective. Now we're going to go on to the elephant in the room. So I was reading an article that said that the GTA housing market is expected to go up another 9% this year, and the renting market another 11%. What cost would someone take into consideration when looking to rent? So I'll give you an example. A couple looking for a 2-bed, 1-bath in your market, how much would that cost?
Like a condo or like a basement apartment?
Let's start with the condo, and then we'll head to the basement apartment.
Probably between 2,000, just under 2,000. If you're doing a basement apartment, you could probably get something like that around 15, 1,700.
Mm.
But most places, the prices are going up. The landlords are getting more picky.
Mm-hmm.
And the listings, even for rentals, are not lasting that long on the market. So they're going pretty quickly still.
Yeah. Yes. And for people that's in Hamilton, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So 2000 15 to 2000. Basement apartment is 15 to 17, and for a condo 2000, maybe
Or
18. Yeah. So in the GTA, I will speak more so for Mississauga. I'm just gonna say this. I have a two bedroom, two bath available right now for 2850.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what kind of home is this?
It's a condo.
Oh, it's a condo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's right in front of Celebration Square. Pardon?
I said, so not even a freehold where you get like a backyard and stuff.
No. But yeah, but there's a terrace available. It's
Yeah.
cute. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's his name? Fat Joe. Yesterday's price
Ah. Ah.
is
It's
not
not today's
today's price.
price.
I'm being,
Yep.
you guys have no idea. So if you are ready, hey. Oh my
Yep.
goodness. So again, so that's good. That's good to know. Because again, a lot of people really, will come in and say, "Hey, I have this amount of budget," but people need to be realistic and be like, "Hey, you know, landlords are getting pickier. The market is going up, so that is, and I find that a lot with the older generation. I see. Hey, no worries, but I see, a lot of older people. I'll say my parents. They be like, I remember back in my day when I could rent for $800. That's
Mhm.
cute.
That's
Yesterday's
parking these
price,
days.
exactly. That's parking. So yesterday's price is not today's price. So thank you for sharing that. We are going to wrap up shortly, but I have one final question. Because this podcast is for, again, to make real estate, personal finance, and self-development digestible, fun, and relatable for everyone. What advice would you give someone who is, I guess, scared to take that leap of faith of being independent, and being on their own? So someone who, I guess, they make good income, they have the money, but they're I guess somewhat scared to make that leap. What advice would you give someone like that?
To be independent and get their own rental or like a
Rental or purchase.
my advice would be just start having the conversation. So I spoke with someone a couple months ago and she said, you know what, Tori, I have no idea what's involved, where I need to be, what I need to do, but I just wanted to ask questions. So the best thing you can do is just start having a conversation. Typically, if you go to a realtor, a good one, they will be able to lead you to all the other people and resources that need to be involved.
Mhm.
Or if you have a mortgage broker or someone that you know. But first step is just asking questions. So getting that knowledge, getting that information, and from there you can decide whether or not it sounds like it's something you want to do right now, or if it sounds like it's a goal that you want to make for 2022 or 2023 or 2024 or whatever it may be. So just getting that information, getting into the right mindset and preparing yourself. It is a very big decision and it's not an easy one. So you definitely want to make sure you have the right people around you to help guide you.
Awesome. Awesome. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tory really breaking down, renters, and also the mindset. I love how you said, it's a big decision, but it's all about getting yourself in the right, mindset and having that conversation. I feel like some people may be afraid to have these conversations and really speak out because, let's just say they're not in the greatest circumstances at the current moment in time. It's not a bad thing to actually have the conversation with a professional who's able to put you into the right path, because again, that's what we are here for. We're here to guide you. So honestly, it was a very short episode, but I think it was very powerful, and I want to thank you, Tori, for really taking the time out of your day to really share some tips to help these renters moving forward. Do you have any socials that you want to shout out or anything before we let you go?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, my realtor Tory, and then on YouTube, it's Tory in Realty.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to the DHomer Real Estate Podcast. Please follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as Google Podcasts so you can see the visuals on YouTube, and follow my socials at DHomer Real Estate on Instagram as well as TikTok, and also the DHomer Real Estate Podcast on Instagram. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. God bless and stay safe. Take care.